So this is the story of the Guru and the rich disciple we were discussing about. So finally, the Guru has, kept on reminding his disciple about the importance of his good sadhana, and the disciple was neglecting. But one day, the disciple said, "Oh Gurudev, please come to our home. Please accept our hospitality. And please give me entrance into the Brahma Gyan, the higher truths of spiritual life." So this time, interestingly, the Guru said, "Okay, I'm coming to your home." So the disciple was so excited. Wow, my Gurudev is coming to my home. I'm so blessed. So he immediately went home and he made all the preparations. He made elaborate preparations to receive his Guru. And he got all the best of delicacies made to serve his spiritual master. So all the delicacies known ever, the best dishes possible, the tastiest, all were done to treat the Guru. So in this way, he welcomed the Guru, honored him, and he made him sit. And after having cooked all these delicacies, he just put a silver plate in front of him. And he was about to serve. Then the Guru said, no, just wait. I have my own bowl in which you can serve me. Saying that, the Guru opened his bag and he put a mud bowl in front of him. And he said, "Serve in this." But that bowl was full of mud and dirt. It was very dusty, as you can see in this picture. Then the disciple was taken aback. So he said, "Oh Gurudev, I have made the best of preparations for you, but this bowl seems to be full of dust. How can I serve you in this? No, the whole preparation is spoiled. You wouldn't be able to enjoy anything." Then the Guru said to the disciple, "So is it with you. I have everything to give you, the best of knowledge, the best of understanding, but your mind is not clean enough to accept all these higher truths. So how can I serve you?" So the disciple immediately understood his fallacy, his shortcoming, and his responsibility. The Guru is willing to give the highest knowledge, the greatest knowledge. And the spiritual and transcendent knowledge is like a great feast. It's a feast for the soul. Yeah. But in order to access that, in order to contain that truth, in order to contain that knowledge, in order to contain that realization, one has to have a pure mind. If that pure mind is not present, no matter how much is given to us, it cannot be sustained, or it does not taste good. One of the great spiritual teachers in the Vaishnava Sampradaya says, one of the symptoms of impurity of mind is one cannot relish the topics related to God. I repeat, one of the symptoms of impurities of mind is one cannot relish the topics related to God. Yeah, so as long as the mind is impure, one cannot truly find happiness, satisfaction in hearing about the glories of God. So this was how the Guru has resolved the dilemma. He actually shook up the disciple through this practical teaching, as to the importance of keeping one's mind clean in order to access the higher spiritual knowledge and truths. So today the topic is Saucham, Atma Saucham, that is purity of mind. In the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, 3rd verse, Saucham has been enumerated as a divine quality. Yeah. There is a list of qualities which Krishna explains, the Daivi Sampatti. Yeah. What are the divine qualities? And one of them is Saucham. As you see here, Tejakshamadhriti Saucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. Cleanliness, freedom from envy, and from the desire for honor, these transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So Saucham is a divine qualities. So there are divine qualities and there are demonic qualities. So if somebody has an inherent sense of cleanliness, then that is to be understood to be a divine qualities. Interestingly, what is the meaning of this cleanliness? Yeah, this cleanliness, it's not just the cleanliness of the body and mind. Interestingly, it is also our dealings with others. The way one deals with other people reflects and explains Saucham or cleanliness. That is, the cleaner a person is in one's heart, the purer are that other person's dealings with others. In other words, the purity of one's mind is reflected in one's dealings with others. The more refined the interpersonal dealings are, in terms of the etiquettes offered, in terms of the exchanges, that actually reflects the purity of mind. That is why if you read the great works like Srimad Bhagavatam, it's all about the conversations between the sages, the fineness in their etiquettes, how the devotees of the Lord have received the great sages, like how great kings have received and honored the great sages, how they have dealt with each other in different relationships. These are all the content, the subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam, the subject matter of transcendence. Yeah. So that's how the purity of mind is reflected. It is reflected in one's actions. So Saucham means not just the cleanliness of body and mind, it is also how one deals with others. So number one, I have spoken, cleanliness or Saucham is a divine quality. Yeah. And another reference in the Bhagavad Gita, Saucham is also a quality of a Brahmana. Yeah. Shamodamastapa Saucham Shantirajyavamevacha Jnanam Jnanamastityam Brahma Karma Samsvabhavaja. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are natural qualities of Brahmanas. So it's a quality of a Brahmana. So there is a beautiful subhashit which goes this way. I will just tell you what it is. Abdhirgana gatrani shuddhanti manaka satyena shuddhanti. Manaha satyena shuddhanti. That is, the mind is cleansed by truthfulness. This is a famous subhashitam. I will give you the reference. So manah shuddhanti. What is it? What manah shuddhanti? Manaha satyena shuddhanti. Yeah, the mind is cleansed by truthfulness. So let us just speak about this beautiful story, the story of Satyakama Jabala. So this story of Satyakama Jabala, it comes in the Chandogya Upanishad. Very interesting story about the quality of the Brahmana and how it is related to truthfulness. So once upon a time, there lived a lady, and she had a son whom she named Satyakama. Why she named him Satyakama is because she wanted him to be a seeker of truth. Satya means truthfulness. Kama means one who is in the pursuit of, or one who desires to pursue what is truth. That is Satyakama. So, true to his name, he grew up to be always in the mindset of inquiring into truth, the realities of life. So, as he grew up, he developed a fondness and an inclination to learn the higher spiritual studies from the teacher Gautama Rishi. So he went and expressed his desire to his mother. Oh, mother, I want to learn about spiritual science from the famous teacher Gautama Rishi. The mother understood his heart's desire and said, yes, please go and tell him the truth about you. And he will accept. So why did the mother say this? Because Gautama Rishi was then very, very famous for one thing, that he accepts only Brahmanas as his disciples. So Satyakama Ujjvala went to Gautama Rishi and expressed his desire that I want to be your student, sir. Please accept me. Then Gautama Rishi asked him, yes, but tell me, what is your gotra? What is your family lineage? Then he said, I do not know. I will go and inquire for my mother and come. Then he goes to his mother and asks. And next day he returns again. And he tells, oh Rishi, my mother said that, no, I do not know to which father I come from which father I come from. Because the mother had many relationships. So at this answer, Gautama Rishi said, you are a Brahmana. Why? Because he spoke the truth. So now I accept you as my disciple. So truthfulness is a clear sign of purity of mind. Yeah. As I just said, mana satyena shuddhyanti. The mind is purified by truthfulness. And this mana Saucham is a quality of a Brahmana. As we said, or as we just read, Shamo Damas Tapas Saucham, Shanti Rajyamame, Jnana Vijnana Vastikyam, Brahmakar Savacham. So the Brahmana is defined by this guna and karma, not by simply a thread. Yeah. And this is how the quality of a Brahmana has been detected in Satyakama Ujjvala, and he accepted him as his disciple immediately. So many a times, so many sadhakas face a lot of difficulty in the journey of their spiritual life due to lacking one prominent quality of not being truthful. Yeah. Truthfulness is it's a basic, sometimes, people are habitual liars, or sometimes they say many white lies. Yeah. Or, or they don't, they speak half truths, or they don't really open up their hearts and honestly, express themselves about their shortcomings, their limitations, their struggles with their mentors, because of which they do not receive sufficient help in their lives, which directly reflects in one's instability in one's sadhana. That is why, Gautam Rishi has wanted a Brahmana to be his disciple, because of this basic quality of truthfulness, which is so much needed of a disciple. Yeah, truthfulness is not wearing masks, not keeping filters in, openly expressing one's shortcomings, expressing one's limitations, one's struggle. So if a person, as sadhakas, we're all like, we are in a deep well, deep dark well. So when we are in a deep dark well and we are shouting for help, we should exactly tell, how deep we are in the well. Let's say I am 40 meters in the deep dark well, and I shout, see, I am stuck in the well, please pull me out. And who is pulling us? How deep are you? I say, why should I say I'm in 40 meters below the well? I'll just say, okay, I'm just almost close, just 10 meters below the well. I'm right here. Then they will send a rope only of 10 meters. we are not saved as a result of that. Yeah. So one has to be very open about one's uh, deficiencies and shortcomings and express one's heart, at least to one person whom they trust in. That's when they really receive guidance, help, by which they can truly come out and make progress and sustain themselves in a progressive way on the path of devotion. So that is why one of the principles of nectar of instruction is Datati Pratigrihnati Guhyamakhyati Prichati. Yeah, Guhyamakhyati Prichati is revealing one's mind in confidence to a person whom you trust in. So that person who is in the position to guide understands where you are and they provide the necessary guidance to break through certain habits or come out of certain sticky anarthas, which are very long standing, not letting us go ahead. Some things are really not in our hands. They really require, a higher power to take us out of it. Yeah. So such help is provided to those who seek that help. There's a sweet pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Once Prabhupada and his disciple, they were just walking. It was like a zoo, on the bank of a small lake. So Prabhupada was, offering food to the ducks. There were some groups of ducks that were quacking. So like in the ducks, they come in groups, and there were some ducks which were really hungry and they were really quacking hard, wanting the attention of Prabhupada so that they get the food. So Prabhupada gave the food to those ducks which were quacking loud and which were really pushing themselves forward. So Prabhupada gave them the food first and then moved ahead. And then he told his disciple, you look at those ducks. Yeah, they were quacking so loud. They really wanted attention. And they got it. Yeah. So is it. Whoever cries out for mercy, really in the mood of begging and really wanting, in the life of a sadhaka, one should not be limited by one's ego. Yeah, one's ego can be such a block. Yeah, one should really yearn for that mercy. And one who yearns for that mercy gets the mercy, just like those ducks, which were really quacking hard and, I want the food, and they get the food. So that is about being honest. Yeah, honest, truthful. And who can be honest and truthful? One whose mind is clean. That is why cleanliness of the mind, mind becomes clean by the process of truthfulness. Yeah. So let's go ahead. So now I have a question. You can, it's an open question to all. Okay, let's first discuss till now we have discussed about cleanliness, Saucham. Yeah. So what is cleanliness? What is Saucham? It is a divine quality. We have also seen cleanliness is also a Brahminical quality. Yeah. And we have also seen how cleanliness of mind is acquired. It is by truthfulness. Now let us look at what are the impurities of the mind. Okay, so we all know the core impurities of mind are the Shadripu. Yeah, the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. But how do these things manifest? Yeah, so this is the activity we have right now. The activity that you have is take a moment, pause, and write down what is the greatest struggle with your mind. Take a pen and write down on a book what is the greatest struggle with your mind. Yeah, you can write on the chat. Yeah, you can put it on the chat. The greatest struggle with your mind. Okay, instability. Great. Okay, inability to think positive, negative thinking. Muskan, I'll just share with you one interesting fact. Yeah, this is a fact in psychology, and also this is also one of the core reason for depression. You know, the mind's default setting is it very quickly registers any negative information. Anything negative sinks deeper, stronger, and it remains more endurable in the mind than the positive information. The simple way to understand this is that any criticism given enters the mind more deeper than any praise. Why mind has this natural bias for negative information? Yeah. Okay. So I got some lovely answers in the chat. Let me see them. Yeah. Okay. So instability, inability to think positive. I just explained Muskan Agarwal about the bias of the mind, the natural bias of the mind it by default thinks negative. That's why one requires an effort to think positive, because to think negative or to grab negative information is the default setting of the mind. It's actually a default setting because it's the safety valve of the mind. Because if there is any danger, the mind has to register it and process it. So it's more receptive to negative information in the sense that it has to use it as an alarm to act. But what happens is the same nature becomes a cause of concern when it is directed in the wrong ways. You know, as I said, criticism is taken more deeply than praise because of the natural bias of the mind to attract and store negativity deeper and for longer duration. So this is where spirituality helps a person, yeah, to come out of this pattern and to direct the mind towards the positive. Yeah, so we will deal with how to overcome these tricks of mind a minute later. So I've got a really wonderful list of the struggles with the mind: instability, to think positive, lust. Yeah, Arjuna was keeping my mind consistent against negativity. Yes, it's a very brilliant answer. Yeah, especially when there is negative force, to keep oneself consistent is a great challenge. Yeah, Meghna writes, not able to live in the present or reality. Excellent. This is such a challenge the mind faces. Yeah. The mind is either in the regrets of the past or the agitations of the future. Anxieties about future or the regrets of the past. It's like the pendulum swinging one side, regrets of the past. Why did I do this? Why did I say this? I shouldn't have opted for this. If only I did this. If only I should not have said that. If only this person was not this to me. Blah, blah, blah. This is what is regrets of the past. And anxieties of the future. This is another extreme the mind goes to. Mind thinks, what if I don't do this? What if I don't complete this assignment? What if this person is not going to act in the way I expected? Yeah. And this is, another extreme, anxieties of the future. So the mind is consistently going into these two extremes, regrets of the past, anxieties of the future. Yeah. And even in the present, even if it is in the present, the mind is agitations of the present. It is said that these are the three holes. Like, when we are small, we used to draw this diagram in science, right? Like, a cylinder filled with water and there are three holes and they are just, water is just oozing out. So all the energies of the mind is drained out through these three holes. What are these three holes? Regrets of the past, anxieties of the future, agitations of the present. Entire mental energy is being drained out. Yeah. So that makes a person not able to live a quality present, or in other words, a mindful present. Mindfulness is one of the top word in the corporate circles these days, to be in the present moment. Yeah. So, okay, Riddhi says excessive activity of mind. Yeah, this is, overthinking. These is another buzzword is overthinking. Mind is super active, hardly sleeps. How many of you experienced that in the night body sleeps, but the mind does not sleep? Yeah. So this, because this is what is excessive activity of mind. There are many reasons to this, like a lot of imbalances at the level of the body, mind, and even at the level of not being properly spiritually nourished is also one of the reasons. Unable to fix the mind, distraction, laziness. Yes, distraction and laziness, mental lethargy. That's also one thing that makes a person knows the truth, knows what to do, but is not doing it. Why? This is mental lethargy. Distraction is another pastime of the mind. Yeah. The mind is like all over the place, very, very distracted. Okay. Yeah, I have a huge list, so let me just go through it all. In fact, with all the lists given, I think we can write a book. Yeah. So much imagination, but no action. Yeah, this is Saraswati writes, yes. So this is what is daydreaming. Daydreaming is another, nature of the mind. Yeah, especially in the mode of ignorance, overthinking, unable to accept reality, unable to accept that trusting everyone fooled me. How to trust anyone? Okay, yeah, especially when it comes to trust issues, mind can really take us for a ride. Yeah. Unable to focus and undetermined. Yeah, not clear with the thoughts, lack of clarity, negative thinking, daydreaming, overthinking, thinking much, worrying excess, unable to speak softly, get through softness of my voice. Okay, interesting. How to live in the present. Okay, questions we are going to discuss towards the end. Mind is always attracting us to things which are material. Yeah, even if I know it's temporary. Yes, that is. Okay, that's a good list of struggles that you all have written. In fact, actually, if we were to have this whole forum in person, um, um, okay, fear and insecurity. Certainly, that's also the struggle of the mind, real time struggle. That is why one of Krishna's instruction in the Gita is Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharam Raja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. At the end, there's a tag saying that abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender it unto me. I will give you freedom from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Why is Krishna saying do not fear? Because fear is intrinsic to one's existence in this material world. It's a part of us. Person lives in fear because subconsciously one knows that this life is temporary. Subconsciously one knows that death is imminent, that I am not unbreakable, I am breakable. This body is subject to damage. Yeah, so there is a subconscious fear that's there because of the temporary nature of this body. So to the degree one identifies oneself with this body and mind, to that degree a person lives in fear, either knowingly or unknowingly. And this fear actually is the root cause of all the mental ailments. Yeah. So to the degree one is situated in one's eternal nature, true nature, spiritual nature, that which does not change, that is not subject to any changes, yeah, or any damage. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूया भविता वा न भूया अजो नित्यं शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. That is the nature of each and every one of us. Yeah, ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It is everyone is eternal, unborn. Yeah. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It is nothing happens to us even if this body is destroyed. So that is Atma Tattva. When one situates oneself in that Atma Tattva, the reality, the eternality, the truth, to that degree one is moving away from the fear. That is why the spirituality is the solution to all the problems. The root causes of all the problems are destroyed when one accepts spirituality and leads a life of spirituality. So I'm very happy for giving such a wide range of answers to the struggles of mind. So I don't have to talk about the impurities of mind. All of us are familiar to what it is because it's a daily struggle. Yeah. It is said that it is easy to not identify with our body, but it is not so easy to not identify with the mind. Yeah. Because after every birth, the body is going to be destroyed, right? But the mind is going to come with us to the next life. So this mind is something that is, with us through lifetimes. So that is why the closest associate with whom we are most influenced by is the mind. It's not so easy to detach from the mind. It's easier to detach oneself from the body, but it is not easy to detach from the mind because it's a companion through lifetimes. Okay, so all said, now that we understood what the impurities of mind are and how they reflect in our daily life in the form of this overthinking, fears, insecurities, inability to remain stable, inability to think positive, inability to remain stable under negative situations and circumstances, to think too much, to be overwhelmed with thoughts beyond one's own capacity, and oftentimes the thoughts are negative. So all these are like the repercussions of an uncontrolled mind. So how do we then overcome this? How do we overcome this? Now we all know, we all understood what is cleanliness of mind. It's a divine quality. It's a basic quality, the based on which, it's we understood it's a receptacle to hold the spiritual truths. A clean mind is a divine quality. A clean mind is a Brahminical quality. We learned this. And then it is truthfulness, which is enhances the purity of mind. Then we just try to understand then what is the impurities of mind. Yeah. The 6 enemies of the mind, we know what they are and how they are manifesting through these disturbances. Yeah. So next question is then how do we handle? Is there a way? Is there a way to attain to this? The quality of pure mind, Atma Saucham. Given the status of the mind is that it's always disturbed, unstable, and going into the past and the future and agitated in the present, given that this is the status of the mind, is there a way to transcend this mind? Yeah, or is there a way to purify this mind? Yes, very much there. So this is where the scriptures come into picture. The scriptures are always hope-giving to the humanity. Yeah. So these are the problems. The problem is when we understand the problem, we should turn to the right source for a lasting solution. And that source is the scriptures. So now the scriptures speak about 2 things to deal with the mind. One is performing an austerity. Yeah. And the second thing is to give it the right food. Yeah. So let's see now what is this performing of austerity is. The 17th chapter of the Gita speaks about austerity of mind. Very, very important. And please note down verse number 17.16. The homework is, please memorize this verse. Very, very instructive. If you meditate upon each of this word, that meditation itself will give you a lot of mental strength, lot of cleanliness within you. So let us look at each word. So let's recite. You can also recite with me. Manah prasada saumyatvam, maunam atma vinigraha, bhava samshuddhirityeta, tapo manasamuchyate. Yeah. So what are these qualities? Let's see word to word. Manah prasada. That means prasada means satisfaction. That means to be satisfied with what one has is an austerity of the mind. It's a tapasya of the mind. The nature of the mind is it always hankers. I want more. I want this. I want that. I always want something more and something else than what I have. So this is the nature of the mind. Then what is the austerity of the mind or the tapasya? Is to be satisfied. Mana prasada. That's number one. Yeah, this is tapasya number one. Next, saumyatvam. What is saumyatvam? Simplicity. Yeah. So again, the mind has a tendency to desire for things that are extravagant, desire for things that are not in probably one's karma. Yeah. Then and then to hanker after them, to chase after them. Yeah. Recently, I was just hearing such words of great wisdom that the more we chase after achievements, yeah, the more we are creating so many karmas around us. Yeah. And we have to continue the cycle of birth and death more and more to clear those karmas. So simplicity is gold. Yeah, simplicity is richness of heart. Simplicity is a reflection of contentment of heart. And simplicity is very attractive and beautiful. Yeah. And simplicity is true substance. And one attains the simplicity because of a satisfaction of heart. It's not an external renunciation, a dry renunciation of, things. Simplicity is the manifestation of a true satisfaction and a contented heart. Yeah. So that simplicity is also an austerity of the mind. Then maunam. Maunam means gravity. Yeah, maunam is not just the lip silence. Yeah, to be grave. Then atma vinigraha is self-control. So self-control is also the austerity of mind. So, and bhava samshuddhir, this is very, very important. Purification of one's existence. Yeah. In fact, actually, in different, I have gone through this verse in the translations given by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan and also Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Gita Bhushana, and also in the in his great work, the Sarartha Varshini Tika, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives amazing translation to each of these words. So the Bhava Samshuddhi as such is translated. So let me read that out for you. So Bhava Samshuddhi is translated as freedom from deceit in dealings with others. Yeah, this has been given by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan. Yeah, here Srila Prabhupada is giving it as the purification of one's existence. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan is saying that freedom from deceit in dealings with others. Very profound. That is what is bhava samshuddhir. That means that's the purity of one's bhava or emotions. It lies in freedom from deceit in dealings with others. So, most of the time the mental contaminations come in because of inappropriateness in our dealings with others. One who learns the art of relationships actually can have a very pure mind. The art of dealing with relationship, there's a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, Gunadikan Budham say Anukrosham Gunadhaman. That is, one should, when a person meets a person who is superior to one should not become, insecure. Yeah, one should honor that person who is superior to oneself. Yeah, when you meet a person who is equal, one should not simply brag about one's achievements or, simply try to show oneself as superior. On the other hand, one should make friends with equals. Yeah. And when one meets a person who is junior to oneself, one should show them compassion and not become condescending. Somehow prove myself, better and try to push that person down by showing my achievements. This is condescending nature. Yeah. So when a person knows exactly how to deal with people who are superior to them, who are equal to them, and who are junior to them, nataper abhibhuyate, these people are not affected by the threefold miseries of life. The adhyatmika, adidaivika, and adibhautika kleshas do not impact these people who have learned the art of relationships, how to deal with superiors, how to deal with equals, and how to deal with juniors. Yes. So that is, freedom from deceit in interacting with others. And that is bhava samshuddhi. And that is tapo manasam. That is the austerity of mind. So practicing this, one can achieve that situation of having that pure receptacle, the cleanliness of mind. Atma Saucham is possible by practicing this austerity. What is this? What are the elements of this mental austerity? Manah prasada, that is satisfaction, saumyatvam, simplicity, maunam, gravity. That means maintaining silence. What is this maintaining silence? I'll just try to explain this. Sometimes when we are working, yeah, let's say on our laptop, or we're studying something, a nice book, there's always a mobile beeping saying that here's a message, ping, there's a message, or a call, or you want to scroll through there, I've got a new message, right? Always going back and forth, checking your messages, and then again starting to work. You can't really focus. If you really want to focus, what do? You put the mobile on silent, right? Mind is exactly like that. It's always, you want to focus on something and the mind takes you back. Hey, are you hungry? Do you want to eat that pizza? No, 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 no. And you start working again. And the mind says, music? Said, no, no, no. And then you start working again. That friend going out, let's go out somewhere. Said, no, no, no. And this is how, the mind is always beeping, giving you that beeps, alerts. And is there a way to put this mind on silent mode? Just like how we put our mobile on silent mode so that it doesn't disturb us? Yes, there is a way to put put the mind also on silent mode. So how do we put this mind on the silent mode? There's a very interesting article of His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. I was reading about this, putting the mind on silent mode. It is, so how do we do this? It is simply by, there are two ways. The mind can be handled by giving it positive impressions. See, mind can be of two types. Let's say, take this example. It's a very instructive example. There are two friends, okay? Two friends, they're walking by and there comes a bar, okay, or a pub where people drink. So one of this friend is a drunkard. That means he had some past experience of drinking. So the moment he passes by a bar, it pulls his attraction. Okay. And the second person is a teetotaler. That means he had no experience of drinking. So for this person, this bar doesn't mean much to him. Right? So the mind is similarly of these two types. One type of mind is it has some past impressions or samskaras of doing some wrong things. Yeah, that mind is very much vulnerable whenever it comes in contact with such attractions. The second type of mind, it has pure samskaras, has never indulged. So whenever some attractions do not really pull them too much. Okay. So now this drunkard is getting, is in a very vulnerable state. He's mocking and there's this pub calling him, and he's reminded of all his past experiences in drinking and he's unable to handle himself. Now, if this person has to overcome this strong allurement, what should he do? Any answers? How can he overcome this attraction to this pub? The person who has the experience of drinking. Ignore it. Okay, very good. But
Move his concentration to some different thing, higher things.
Okay. Concentration to a higher thing. How? Build new samskaras. Okay. Very good. All of you are giving very nice answers. Excellent answers. Austerity. Okay. Yeah, for him it's an austerity. Yes. Give him new positive experience. Associate with the other person who doesn't drink. Very good. All very innovative answers. Cultivate new impressions. Excellent. This is like hit the target. Jyotsna hit the bullseye. Cultivate new good impressions. So basically, this person who's the drunkard, who's had this past experience of drinking, if supposing he has indulging into higher qualities, yes. Supposing if he has something very positive to look forward to, let's say, he has to go and meet a very interesting person, a very good friend, a very dear friend, or an important person, So then, even if he's passing by this bar, he thinks, no, I have something important to attend to. So, automatically you ignore, right? So similarly, when the mind is attached to something higher, a higher object, because of which, the attraction to which can make you ignore your attraction to this, then you have won the game. That's as simple as it is. Yeah, so that is what is creating some positive impressions in your life. This is why spirituality means that is creating. Now next question is, how do you create those positive impressions? This is where, recently we all have together gone to a beautiful dham, Jagannath Puri Yatra, yeah, or visiting holy places in the association of like-minded people and have many interesting and lively and wholesome experiences with, positive-minded, spiritual-minded people. Yeah, an experience in which you truly find joy, not that it's some kind of a fake emotion. Yeah, add positive impressions in your life. Create more positive impressions in your life. I can tell you in my life, the best people I met, the best places I visited, the best food I have tasted, the best conversations I have had is all after I got in touch with spirituality. And the joy it gave me it's so amazing. And it wasn't so hard to get over some past bad habits. Yeah, it's all about creating those positive impressions. So, it is said, how do I leave West? It's simple, by traveling east. So how do I overcome these negativities of the mind? Create more positive, the allurements of the mind, the distractions of the mind, creative positive impressions, more and more positive impressions. And that's how, one eventually is no longer pulled in that direction. Yeah. And in Kali Yuga, hardly any person is that second person, the teetotaler, who's had no bad samskaras, for having lived in Kali Yuga, for having been educated in our institutions, and for having been exposed to this media and living in this environment. We hardly find people, who are products of this farm communities, like the second person. So it's like most of us fall into the first category. So this is how we deal with it. Creative, positive impression. So this is intelligence. Okay. So that is about austerity of mind. So I'll end this session by the next. Yeah. So after having practiced the austerity of mind, one more way is to fill the heart or our life with Krishna Katha. And very interestingly, in the Krishna Katha, in the Chaitanya Shikshamrita, written by Srila Bhakti Thakur, there, Lord Krishna kills many, many demons, as we all know when we read the book Krishna. So each of this demon, interestingly, represents a particular anartha in our own heart. Yeah, I will end the session with this. So, and amongst all these demons, the first demon whom Lord Krishna killed, Putana. Putana represents the pseudo guru, or a false guru, or which may either be a person or one's own conditioned mind. So, very, very interesting this is. Yeah. Many times, we simply listen to and abide by our own mind. So what we are making our mind our own guru. Yeah, we are listening to the dictations of our mind. So oftentimes this mind can be a false guru. Yeah, because it is taking us in the wrong direction. So such a demon is, Putana. Who is Putana? As we read in the Krishna Leela, she was a witch who was sent by Kamsa to kill the little Krishna who was born in Vrindavan. And she dressed herself so beautifully, so gorgeously. It is said that, the Ananda Vrindavan Champu describes, when she walked into Vrindavan, all the Brajvasis were just, so fascinated by her that nobody ever thought, who is this new lady who is walking into our Brajdham? And they just let her, move around without stopping. So, one may ask, Brajvasis means they are attracted only by Krishna. How come they're attracted by Putana in her disguise? So, the answer to this is, the Brajvasis, whatever they do and they act, is as per the dictations of the Yogamaya. And the Yogamaya has orchestrated that they be influenced so to give way for the Krishna Leela to happen. So for that moment, the Brajvasis, they got carried away by the beauty of Putana. It was much more than the beauty of any of the Apsaras or Kinneras, or the Gandharvis. Too beautiful she was. So they just allowed her to walk in. So she walked into Vrindavan and she entered the palace of Nanda Baba. And Rohini and Yashodamai, even they could not say no. And oftentimes mothers let the nurses and others to milk their babies, because it is said that, when a nurse gives her milk to the baby, sometimes, it increases the immunity of the child more. It improves the health of the child more. So with following that notion and also seeing this beauty of this lady, thinking that she must be some divine mother. Let her go and feed Krishna, and Krishna will become more energetic. So with that intent, Yashoda Mai and Rohini Maiya leave Putana to milk Krishna. So when she starts milking, we all know what happens. Then Krishna, he didn't even have teeth at that time. No, he had only gums. So with those gums, he actually bit Putana so hard and so hard and so hard, but not so hard that she's going to collapse there itself. Because he wanted this event to take place elsewhere. So Krishna's timing is perfect. He knows what to do and how much to do and when to do and where to do and what to do. Yeah. So with that intensity, he literally ran out, gasping for air and crying for relief. And then, she went out and she just assumed that huge, gigantic form. And then, she collapsed and died. So this Putana represents a false guru. That is, it comes in the form of a well-wisher, but actually, to give us some good counsel, that milk is akin to the good counsel. But what actually happens is, in disguise, is actually a dangerous, monstrous intention to kill. So sometimes, so that Putana represents a pseudo-guru. It is a misleading guide or one's own mind, conditioned mind, especially the mind conditioned for sense gratification is also equivalent to Putana. And how can this Putana, which is a conditioned mind, be overcome? By inviting Krishna into our life, and whose instructions can take over our intelligence. When such intelligence can control the mind, it is like Krishna killing Putana, or the conditioned mind, and purifying it. So that is how in every Krishna Leela, that every demon Krishna killed represents an anartha, a contamination in our own heart. So when we listen, with absorption, and when we understand these, sweet intricacies of Krishna Leela, it also, it's very nice to the intelligence, yeah, and also it's very nourishing to the soul. And in the process, the anartha is also gone. So it's very, very important to regularly and repeatedly hear Krishna Katha. And there is no dearth to the intricacies of these pastimes of Lord Krishna. They are explained time and again by realized souls. The nectar of it has been churned over the centuries by great acharyas, and it has been given to us in newer and newer ways through the contemporary great spiritual seekers and speakers. So all we have to do is, plug in our consciousness to hear more of Krishna Katha. That in itself can bring about great purity and clarity of mind, Atma Saucham. And the most important, and these impurities of mind are stuck like dust on the mirror, and they can be cleansed by the process of chanting of the holy name. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapani. Yeah. What does the holy name do? It cleanses. The very first thing that the holy name does when we chant is it cleanses the mirror of the mind. Yeah. So the mirror, mind is compared to darpana, chito darpana. It's compared to a mirror. And on it is kilometers thickness of impurities, which we have accumulated for lifetimes. Sometimes people say, we started chanting, but still I'm not self-realized. Our impurities are like, kilometers thick. We've just started scraping the surface. It takes a long while to actually get to the reflecting surface of the mirror. Don't lose patience. Yeah, be consistent, be sincere. And certainly, what is stated in the scriptures will always fructify and be true. Okay, so I will end the session here. So I will just summarize. Today's session is about Atma Saucham, the purity of mind. First, we have learned about the story of the Guru and the rich disciple, through which we understood the importance of having a patra, a clean receptacle to hold the spiritual gifts. Yeah. So the transcendental knowledge and all the spiritual gifts the Guru is going to give us are a big feast to the soul. But in order to hold them, we need a clean container. The next, we have learned Saucham, cleanliness, is a divine quality. Saucham is also a Brahmanical quality. Yeah. And the truthfulness is something that cleanses the mind. We have learned this through the story of Satyakama Jabala from the Chandogya Upanishad. Yeah. After that, we learned about what are the impurities of mind. You all have come up with so many, ways the mind troubles an individual. Then we have come to the solution part. Yeah. What is the solution? Performing the austerities of the mind, as stated in the Gita. Mana prasada saumyatvam, maunam atma vinigraha. Yeah. Bhava samshuddhirtyetat, tapo manasam uchyate. Yeah, please, and learn that verse by heart. And after the tapasya of the mind, we've also seen what is the positive feed, the positive impressions to be given, the Krishna Katha. And we have seen how Putana represents the demon of conditioned mind. And how can this demon be killed? By inviting Nandilala, Krishna, into our hearts. Yeah, by frequently hearing Krishna Katha and chanting the holy names of Krishna, which is Chito Darpana Marjanam, which cleanses the mirror of the mind. This is our sadhana. Thank you all very much. I will end here. This ends our Atma Saucham. Hare Krishna. Any discussion, any questions? I will just leave the floor open for 1 or 2 questions.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
After the session is over, our Sindhuja is going to make a quiz of the entire session. There will be 10 questions of the quiz. Whoever answers the quiz, maybe will get some points. And also the homework shloka numbers, which are to be memorized, will be put in the group. Okay. Yeah. So since Manasvi has asked, I will tell her which shloka is to be learned. Yeah. 17.16 Gita. Is that okay, Manasvi? Beach, Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, 16th verse. Yeah, any question? Yes, Anu, I see your hand.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Tamil Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Mataji, like previously you just said ki we should try to have pure association, like of and if of devotees it would be possible and it's wonderful. But what if like every person is in the process of cleaning its mind? So what if like my associations are in the process and I am too? So what happens is that sometimes we experience downfall, like we tend to like defeated by Maya Devi. So what to do in that case? Like to
Anu,
simply like I'm asking ki, like if some person is in the process, like they're chanting, they are doing, and materialistically also they're trying to manage both things. So like I am also doing that. So like somehow what happens ki there is a birthday or there is something XYZ. So we tend to like Maya Devi takes test every day, like है ना. So what to do, like sometimes we fall, and if we take a report of our daily basis, then it's not satisfactory. So what to do?
yes, sweet, very nice, Anu. Nice question, and then nice analysis, yeah, of everyday life. Yeah. So these are all sadhaka badhakas. Yeah, there is the very fact that Maya Devi tests us, it's because that's her service to Krishna. Yeah, it's her service to Krishna that she filters out people who are not very serious about their love for him and keeps them, to continue in their own pursuits of material pleasures. So that's her service. So when we recognize Maya's tests in connection to her service to the Lord, then we become more realistic in understanding the happenings of our life. Yeah. Rather than being in a mode of complaining, we tend to appreciate that through this test, I have an opportunity to express my seriousness and commitment towards Krishna. Okay, so every test that Maya is giving us is, expressing our choice in response. Am I saying yes to Krishna or am I saying yes to Maya? And it's we have a conditioning of lifetimes. So it's not that it's easy to always say yes to Krishna in every given situation. Yeah. So initially we may start with in a day, at least in 100 situations. Did I say yes to Krishna at least in 5? At least let's start with that. Starts from, where we are. Something like, let's say, chanting. Am I finishing my rounds? Okay, I have committed to chant 4 rounds a day, let's say. I have committed to chant 2 rounds a day, anything, or 8 rounds or 16 rounds, whatever. Have I completed my commitment? Okay, yes. Okay, I've said yes to Krishna through one thing. So in such a way that then, as you said, parties and friends. The friends throng to us and they start some discussions about very non-Krishna conscious topics. If we don't be a part of the discussion, we are branded as, something very abnormal. And, when we have to survive, we have to sail along with them. They are our classmates, so we have to be with them. So that's quite a tough situation. But over a period of time, you will learn to handle this. That is, there will be a line that is drawn. You walk a bit towards them. That is, keep the topics more. You can, if not, if topics need not be Krishna conscious, at least they can be in the mode of sattva. That is, you can talk about food, or you can talk about the current affairs that's happening around the world. Who's the leader of this particular state, or there are some very good current affairs you can discuss about. Yeah, so keep the discussions more sattvic or related to dharma, related to the current affairs, or related to your subject matters. In that way, one can avoid Maya entering into our discussions. So it's just a matter of little bit of using our smartness, not even intelligence. We just have to be smart. Using our smartness to navigate the situations in favor of our need, that we don't get distracted in the wrong direction. So that comes with a bit of expertise and, as I said, smartness over a period of time. And also, one line I always tell all my students is, if you are to be in an association that is not conducive, then give your association, don't take association. Yeah, do not be a blotting paper that their association comes and impacts you, but you try to give your essence to them. And one more thing is, when your sadhana is strong, you become that giver rather than being a vulnerable person. So sadhana actually helps us build that inner strength also. That's why these sessions are very important. So follow these sessions, you develop that inner strength, and to also stay strong in your practice. Okay, Anu, I hope I could answer your question. And
Yes,
please
ma'am.
let me know your progress, how you are applying these tips that are given to you and how it is helping you. It's not that just today I told you, you noted and it's over. It's an application, how you are able to apply. And let me know after a couple of weeks or next week if this application has helped you in some way.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.
All the best, Anu. Yes. Yeah, somebody wants to ask. Akanksha. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much for the wonderful class. Mataji, my question was not directly related to the class, but can I ask?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Mataji, actually, few years back, I decided my life's aim, my career, to pursue civil services. But now that I'm growing more in spirituality, attending Bhagavatam classes, I now feel that maybe this study is also challenging my spirituality. And after I become a civil servant, I think that I will not be able to perform spiritual activities in a very well manner. I'm thinking like that. So I was thinking of switching my career to some less challenging options. I'm really confused about it. So can you guide me? I'm thinking of maybe switching to a bank PO or something, so I have more time for spiritual activities.
Yeah. So Akanksha, so what you have asked is a very big question because it requires a personal guidance to actually make a choice. But now I'll just tell some general principles. For specific details, you need to get in touch with the counselor if you're already in touch with one. Where are you from? Which place are you from?
Mataji, I'm from Madhya Pradesh, Khajuraho.
So I do not know if there exists you have a center you're connected to?
Yes, Mataji, I am connected to the ISKCON Ujjain temple. Recently, I got connected because of my brother.
Great. Yeah, okay. So I will just share with you some general principles. For specific details, you can ask me in person. So career choice is very, very important. Many a times we see that in the initial enthusiasm of spiritual life, you know, we tend to neglect our career and some of our future needs. You know, they take a back step. It's a natural phenomenon because Krishna consciousness is so attractive that it just attracts all our attention that side. We really feel wow. But one thing we need to remember is that nonetheless, if you're making a career, your purpose should be very clear. If I'm making a career, what is the purpose? Is it to fulfill financial needs, or is it a medium of contribution, or is it a platform for me to, reach out more and share my own spirituality with others? Or what is my purpose in career? That has to be very clear. Is it a service domain, or is it a research domain, or is it you should be very clear about your purpose first. Second is your interest. Yeah, where is your interest? The core interest. And third is, what are your gifts and talents? Yeah, so all these three things should match. There's a Venn diagram, I'll show you when you probably write to me, or I'll post it in the group. So your passion, yeah, your interest and your talents. All these three things should match, and they form into one, maybe one or two choices. So from that, you have to choose. So it's a lot of homework to do, before you come to a decision. Yeah, so for this, you need to list out these few things. What three things are? What is my purpose of my career? Second is, what are my passions? Yeah, so somebody may be passionate about service industry. Somebody is passionate about research. Somebody is passionate about management. Somebody is very passionate about teaching. Admin. So what is your passion? Then third is about, what are my talents or gifts? So what you're already good at. Yeah, somebody is very naturally good at communication. Somebody is very good at, somebody is very good at working in teams. Somebody is good at working alone and achieving great things. So career is like, combination of all these, an internal homework, and you also should take some peer feedback from your parents, from your well-wishers, about what they think is good, and, your own internal inventory of what you want to do. So all these things brought together, and, then you make a career choice. You will never regret your career choice. So, but if you think that for the purpose of spirituality, I want to go and take up a very non-challenging role right now, because it will leave me with more time for spiritual life. Oftentimes, in my experience, that I have seen that if you're really passionate about a career, but you have underplayed it or underutilized your potential, going ahead after many years, there are devotees who have looked back and regretted. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done my PhD, or I should have, excelled in that area. And through that, I could have contributed much. So there is sometimes a regret that way. So you need to make a very conscious decision and conscious choice, especially because career, there are two things which are very, very individual and personal choices, but that have to be made with a lot of consultation. Is number one, career. Number two is your decision about your life partner. Very, very, after very careful thought and consultation, one should make these two decisions. And once made, one should never regret. So I hope this helps. You can do this preliminary homework, and then, you can get back to me for more. Okay, I wish you all the best, Akanksha. And I will end the session here. It's already 8:30. Our Sindhuja will send a nice quiz. It will be like a brief revision of the topics. And also, Hari Bol. And also, please do the homework of learning the verses. Whenever you learn Bhagavad Gita verses, you're actually purifying your consciousness, your mind. The very process of learning, memorizing each word in the Gita, each word in Bhagavatam, it has a seed of devotion in it. So this process of memorizing is very, very powerful. Yeah. So every week, let us aim at memorizing at least one verse. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Madhushri. Thank you all. It's been such a pleasure. You can stop recording.